Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. This is the state of the WWE. Your boy got a lot to talk about, a lot to get off his chest, man. We're going to break everything down. Let's talk about it. Hope you guys enjoy.
Welcome to...
You're listening to the Wrestling Takeover.
What is your name?
With your host, Jordan Turner, who's always going to keep it real.
Come on, King.
Inside and outside the ring.
Let me make myself clear. He's got the fans behind him, King.
It's time to take over, King.
Are you ready? He's all fired up now, King. The takeover.
Let's go.
Listening to the Wrestling Takeover Podcast, the most creative and honest podcast in the wrestling space within the wrestling community. I'm your host, Jordan Turner, a passionate wrestling voice within the wrestling community, delivered unfiltered analysis, whether it's breaking down weekly shows, reacting to breaking news, or previewing the biggest pay-per-view events. Remember, man, we don't shy away from nothing. We don't sugarcoat nothing. No clickbait, no fluff, just real wrestling talk for the fans, by a fan. This is the most creative and honest podcast in the wrestling space. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know the vibes, man. I appreciate everybody tapping in to the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. I appreciate y'all. Listen, we're going to get into the state of the WWE. We have a lot of things that I want to break down. All right, we are going to kick things off with Brock Lesnar, but I want to run down everything else so you guys are aware of things that I'm going to be talking about as we get into this podcast. We're going to talk about Brock Lesnar first, so we're going to get that out of the way. We're also going to be talking about Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquer, and Naomi. We're going to break down the women's division. We're going to talk about it on Monday Night Raw. We're also going to be talking about my view and opinion about the two-night format for SummerSlam, why I feel SummerSlam personally does not need two nights. That was pretty prevalent with my opinion from what I saw and why I feel two nights is not needed. There's a report going around that WWE is interested in holding tentative talks about two more Premier Live events being two nights. We're going to break that down as well and why I feel WWE was already going to be getting this in motion and why nobody really should be surprised about that. We're going to talk about Tiffany Stratton, her new opponent. Who can it be? What makes sense? I'm a fantasy book. We're going to talk about that as well. We're going to also fantasy book a story arc between CM Punk. And I know a lot of people are talking about Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns being the match for WrestleMania 42. I'm going to talk about that as well. But I'm also going to be talking about a story arc that I have in my mind that I want to give to you guys. And I'm curious to know you guys' opinion on it regarding CM Punk. We're going to talk about Cody Rhodes. And then we're going to end today's podcast video conversation reacting to Ariel Helwani on WWE getting rid of press conferences and hear his thoughts and opinions about that, man. So listen, everybody, I appreciate y'all tapping in to the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. Before we get started, before we get right into the first couple topics, I want to let everybody know, man, if you guys missed my Monday Night Raw review last night on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio-based video content, support, show me love, and like I said, spread the word of the Wrestling Takeover Podcast because most importantly, word of mouth goes a long way, man. Let's get right into it, man. Brock Lesnar. Brock motherfucking Lesnar, bro. This nigga's back. And I am going to be as honest and transparent with everything I am about to say with this Brock Lesnar situation. If you guys are not going to like what I have to say about this Brock Lesnar situation, fine. You can respectfully, if you don't like what I have to say, you can go listen to somebody else. It's all good. I'm not worried about it because it's my opinion. I'm going to stand on business on it, as I always stand on business with every single opinion that I have. This ain't nothing different. Brock Lesnar returned on Sunday night at SummerSlam. Shit was crazy. This shit was crazy. It was popping. It was popping. The reaction that Brock Lesnar got was crazy. He's selling merchandise. He is the top merch seller on, I believe, 3 different shirts. So the numbers are up for Brock Lesnar. People want to see Lesnar. And this is where I really want to get into the conversation. And if you guys take anything that I say as disrespectful, it's my personal opinion. I am not trying to make fun of other wrestling fans. You guys can feel how you feel, but I'm entitled to give my honest opinion about what I see throughout the wrestling community. A lot of the wrestling community is reactionary. I personally feel like a lot of the people within the wrestling community just talk. They talk, they tweet, they want to get engagement farming. They want to see if people are on the same wavelength as what they're thinking in their mind. They want to see if people agree with them. This Brock Lesnar situation really exposed a lot of people that, you know, they're just fake, engagement farming, not really keeping it real. This is the difference between me and other people in the wrestling space, podcaster, content creator. I never lie to you guys. I'm always honest with my opinion. A lot of people with this Brock Lesnar situation, y'all niggas are fake. Y'all niggas are fake, and here's why. So people were running through, I got all this stuff in my notes. So people apparently were saying that nobody wanted to see Brock Lesnar. Well, the numbers speak otherwise. Numbers speak otherwise. Merchandise speak otherwise. So you're lying there. People do wanted to see Brock Lesnar. He came out. He had a positive reaction. He had a positive reaction. And people on social media went to TikTok, went to Twitter, gave their 2 cents, gave their opinion. I'm only going to mention this Janelle Grant thing one time. That's it. Here's my thoughts on that. Did we get any confirmation that Brock Lesnar did what he did? No. Does that make him guilty? No. Does that make him not guilty? No, that does not. We didn't get anything. I personally don't think we're ever going to get anything. I think WWE, quote unquote, did their own investigation and, quote unquote, found out that nothing that Brock Lesnar did there, he didn't do. I don't know. I'm just talking. I have no confirmation on anything. Do I make myself clear? I have no confirmation of that. I don't know. Now, from a logical mindset perspective, you would think if he did that type of stuff, he would not be on WWE television. I believe he hasn't been on television in a couple years since this thing dropped. If he was guilty, he wouldn't have been on television. Right? Right. So something happened. I don't know what happened. None of my business. Is what it is. He's clearly on television. He said he wanted to come home. Cool. We got the beast incarnate. Let's get it going. There are so many opponents that I, as a fan, want to see him be a part of. You cannot get mad at me, a fan, happy that Lesnar is back for that specific conversation. I'm talking about matches that I want to see Brock Lesnar in. So yeah, I am happy that Lesnar is back because Gunther and Brock Lesnar, I need to see that. Brock Lesnar and Jacob Fatu, I need to see that. Brock Lesnar and Ilya Dragunov, I need to see that. Brock Lesnar and Braun Breaker, I need to see these matches. I want to see John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. I want to see CM Punk versus a Brock Lesnar. I want to see a Roman Reigns versus a Brock Lesnar. I want to see CM Punk, John Cena, and Roman Reigns one more time face Brock Lesnar. You can say Seth Rollins as well, too. You can say AJ Styles. I want to see these men face Brock Lesnar one more time. Now, SummerSlam is going to be in Minneapolis, Minnesota on August 1st and 2nd. If it's in Minneapolis, you would think, hey, yo, this might be Brock Lesnar's retirement match. He retires in his home, right? It makes sense. If that's the case, that opponent for me, I would really have Braun Breaker versus Brock Lesnar at that event. I really would. Gunther and Brock Lesnar, listen, that needs to happen. And I'm really praying that that's the match for WrestleMania 42. Brock Lesnar versus Gunther. Gunther faced Bill Goldberg. Now it's time for Gunther to face the Beast. I'm talking creative right now. Brock Lesnar must be cleared with something because he's back. Let's talk about Triple H. And let's talk about John Cena. I want to play a clip pertaining to John Cena. And John Cena said that he didn't request Brock Lesnar, quote unquote. So I want to play this clip on Twitter. Let's get into it.
From like the audience.
With this Brock Lesnar thing coming up, obviously that story, he shows up. I mean, obviously no one was expecting that. I feel like that's building up for, the next big match for you. When you saw him there, what was going through your mind when you saw Brock Lesnar show up?
I've been saying the same thing for 25 years. They deal them, I play them. I'm just really excited. We got like 12 of these things left. I think SummerSlam was an indication from like the audience where everybody kind of knows we're closing our book. And just because I closed my book in December, that doesn't mean the WWE closes its books. They got to continue their programming going forward. So they're just trying to make the most exciting show for the fans, man. For the dozen I got them left, they deal in my plan.
Last thing, what did you say to Cody in the ring afterwards? I remember you were talking to him and he got a little emotional. What did you say to him?
Well, if the world finds out about that, they won't find out about it from me because that was between me and him.
I hear you. Good to see you. John.
Very respectful. That's how you do it. That individual asking John Cena that question, that's how you fucking do it. None of these fake people, these people that they push a narrative. They don't want to be genuine when they go to pro wrestlers and they ask some of the stupidest questions. Whoever that man was, listen, you asked simple questions, he gave you the answers, and you kept it moving. That's how it should be. But John Cena denies that the idea that he personally requested to face Brock Lesnar. He said, quote, I've been saying the same thing for 25 years. They deal him, I play him. Pretty much what he said in that clip there. The reason why I want to bring up John Cena and I want to bring up Triple H. Michael Cole says Nick Khan and Triple H reached out to Brock Lesnar and said, we believe it's time for you to come home. Close quote. And Lesnar replied, let's do it. So Brock Lesnar is back home. It's great. I need to preface with what I'm about to say next. Triple H has created himself, I would say, a negative reputation of not really saying the smartest things. Jeremy Lambert on social media, everybody was attacking Triple H for this. So Triple H instituted that John Cena wanted Brock Lesnar to be a part of his retirement tour. Triple H said, quote, "One of the first things I said to him, John Cena, is who do you want and how, and we're working through that." But John Cena just said that he did not request Brock Lesnar. So who's right and who's wrong here? I'm going to zing both of them and say both of them are to blame. Both of them are liars. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm more, if I had to pick between the two, I'm more leaning towards John Cena being a little bit more genuine than Triple H. Triple H has been a con artist as of late and lying about a lot of things. I'm not getting into everything that he lied about. We'd be here all day. I'm not doing that. I ain't got the time. But a lot of people are calling Triple H out and saying that Triple H has been constantly lying all the time. Jeremy Lambert put this out on Twitter. John's public stance is that he wasn't going to / hasn't pitched anything which has been backed by Randy Orton. Randy Orton and John Cena are really good friends. And John Cena has constantly said, he even said it recently here in the video, that he doesn't pitch nothing. Whatever they give him, he does them. He does not pitch anything. Jeremy continued and said, so Triple H saying this, and it could be true, goes against what Cena publicly said. Exactly. So who's right and who's wrong? Triple H also booked the heel turn, which wasn't, quote, how that John Cena apparently asked for. He didn't want the heel turn to go the way that Triple H wanted it to go. And I'm going to be as transparent right now. This John Cena heel turn was terrible. This John Cena heel turn was absolutely terrible. I did not like the way the John Cena heel turn went. It seemed like The Rock wanted to do something else and Triple H wanted to do something else. This is what the fuck I'm talking about. You got The Rock. He wants to do his own thing. He wants to help himself while also trying to help the WWE universe and help the performers that he's a part of within the frame of the story. But he wants to do his own thing. Triple H over here, he's trying to run a business. The creative. When The Rock comes in, Rock changes everything. Rock changes everything. He's going to do what Triple H wants, but he also wants to sprinkle in his little ideas, which that is understandable. But The Rock is a liar as well, too. The Rock doesn't finish storylines. He leaves randomly. This is why everybody has fallen out of favor with The Rock and why people are really falling out of favor with him from a investment standpoint. He does one thing and completely erases what he did the first time to completely do something else and expect people not to talk about it. See, we don't do that. We always call shit out. We always call shit out. That's the way it's supposed to be. You continue something, continue it. Even if it's bad, continue it. Don't do it and then completely change course and act like you started doing what you're currently doing. That's incorrect. You just didn't want to do the first thing because you seen fans were getting tired of it. They didn't like it. So you wanted to flip the narrative and say, no, the second idea was our original one. It's like, come on, man. That don't make no sense. He said, she said. We don't know who said what. I'm happy Brock Lesnar's back. He has credible opponents for him to go up against. And we're going to have to wait and see how this Brock Lesnar push is going in the foreseeable future. So I'm real interested to see how you guys feel about it. I know the community is very divided on it, but let me know how you guys feeling about it. Women's wrestling, the women's division, Naomi, Stephanie Vaquer is now official. for Clash in Paris. I want to break this down. Because WWE announced that next week, Io Sky asked Adam Pearce last night for a match against Naomi for the women's title. And that's exactly what we're getting. So right off the bat, I'm real shaky on it. I'm confused. So it's not Naomi versus Stephanie Vaquer. If Naomi beats Io, then she will face Stephanie Vaquer. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea. A lot of people I have been seeing throughout the community, even myself, I really started to think about it as I was watching this specific segment with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Number one, these ladies have Fight Forever vibes. Number two, a lot of people were thinking that we can potentially see a tag team form with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. And I'm thinking to myself, I mean, that might be the best bet because, I mean, I love Io Sky. I think Io Sky is great. That's my girl. Down since day one in NXT. So, this is my girl right here. But this is Naomi's time. Now, I'm going to get to Naomi in a little bit. Io, I do not see beating Naomi. I do see Rhea Ripley getting involved and costing Io the match. They could form a tag team. But I don't really want to see that. But at the same time, if you really think about it, there's nothing else for these ladies to do. So from a logical and creative standpoint, the tag team division might honestly be the best bet. So if that's where WWE is going, I have to accept it. It is what it is. At least they'll still be in the spotlight. You got Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. You got Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. You got Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. That's not enough teams. It's only 3 teams. You need more. And so that's kind of been my problem with the women's tag team division and the tag team titles for many years since its inception. You're just creating tag teams out of the blue without no meaning, no purpose behind it. And you're expecting us to just accept it. That's not how it works. But I think Io Sky and Rhea Ripley are going to run into a situation where they got nothing to do. I do not see Io Sky beating Naomi. So I think Io Sky and Rhea Ripley being a tag team, it's pretty possible. It is pretty possible that might actually be the game plan. And if that's the plan, cool. It is what it is. At least they'll both be on television. But I want to run this by each and every one of you guys. Anybody new listening? Appreciate you guys tapping in. What about a Rhea Ripley heel turn? Or not heel turn, but just a different attitude switch. Io Sky said something last night that really sat with me. That I was waiting to really talk about on this video / podcast. Io Sky, in my opinion, is the best women's wrestler in the game today. Undisputed. That's just how I feel. It's her and Mercedes Moné to me. I think, Io Sky is really amazing. She's great. That promo interaction with Rhea Ripley was really telling. Io Sky said to Rhea Ripley, "You're never going to beat me." I sat with that and I was thinking, that right there can be the reason why Rhea Ripley gets frustrated and quote unquote accidentally cost Io Sky the match next week for the women's title. Now, if that happens, why would they remain partners? Why would they be partners after that? That doesn't make any sense to me. So from that point of view, from that standpoint, that makes no sense. Okay? I really think Rhea Ripley does need a shift in the mommy persona, the character. I think a heel turn will do Rhea Ripley wonders, but this is the problem. She's over. She's over as fuck. Fans don't want to boo Rhea Ripley. Quite frankly, she gets one of the biggest reactions out of female or male and female. She gets the biggest reaction. Why would you want to turn that heel? That doesn't make any sense. That is true. Really doesn't. All I'm saying is, I think the Rhea Ripley character does need some sort of switch. You got to switch something up. That's just my personal opinion about Rhea Ripley. And like I said, all the hate for Rhea Ripley, y'all niggas got to stop. It's all forced. I understand the people that are upset that Rhea Ripley is always in the title picture. That, I totally understand where you guys are coming from that. But Rhea Ripley is over. She needs to be in the main event scene. But she doesn't always need a challenge for the title. She can still be in the main event scene and not challenge for the title. They're going to do something with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. I just don't know what it is. They're either going to be in a tag team or they're going to feud against one another. And I think that would be great for both ladies. It still gets them on TV in a prominent role, in a prominent capacity. We can get a number one contenders. Winner of that challenges either Stephanie Vaquer or Naomi. I remember I pitched a potential fatal four-way on this podcast with Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer, and Naomi. This puts things into motion, and this put things into perspective right here. This announcement that Io Sky is going to go one-on-one with Naomi next week, and it's official. What's going to happen there? What's going to happen? Are we going to end up getting a fatal four-way between Vaquer, Sky, Ripley, and Naomi? I want people to really think about it. That is a very possible potential idea there. Are we going to get Naomi versus Stephanie Vaquer one-on-one? Because here's the thing, and here's what I really want to dive into. I really want y'all to be aware and be very educated with what I'm about to tell you. I love to leave you guys thinking when I speak. When I speak eloquently and when I dissect everything from a creative set of lenses, I want to leave you guys really thinking. We're getting Io Sky versus Naomi next week. The winner of that is going to face Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris. Maybe I'm thinking a little too deep into this, but this is my job. This is what I love to do. I love to analyze from a creative set of lens. I don't want people to think, oh, that fatal four-way, that's not happening. No, it definitely can. It definitely can. Now, in terms of Rhea Ripley, I don't know how Rhea Ripley can get involved if she accidentally cost Io the match and it ends in a double count-out disqualification or something like that, right? You can think about it and say to yourself, okay, Io didn't get pinned, so she deserves to get added to this match and make it a triple threat match. Rhea Ripley can do something of a political pull here for her to get at it. Now, if WWE does that, then that gives people the ammunition to say, why the fuck is Rhea Ripley always in the world title? I'm actually starting to say that myself. I understand why she's always there, but I'm starting to say that myself. We can get the triple threat match. Rhea Ripley, double count out, cool, whatever. That means Sky, Valkyr, and Naomi in Clash in Paris. I can give WWE an out for Naomi to lose. Because here's my thing. Here's how I'm looking at it. Stephanie Valkyr is over. Everybody loves Stephanie Valkyr. WWE is pushing Stephanie Valkyr to the moon, and you can physically see that. Naomi, though. Naomi's doing the best work. I want to make that perfectly clear. Naomi is doing the best work of her entire WWE career. People want Naomi to hold that title all the way to WrestleMania. Cool. But people want Stephanie Valkyr as well, too. And is Stephanie Valkyr going to lose her first opportunity to win the world title? I don't think that's a good idea and a good precedent for Stephanie Valkyr and from a character aspect. I personally think if WWE is really thinking about taking the title off of Naomi, which, see, WWE, I said it in multiple podcasts. They've put themselves in a corner here with this. People want Naomi to hold that title all the way to WrestleMania. She's doing the best work of her career. But people want Stephanie Valkyr to win that title too. They feel like it's her time, quote unquote. So doing the triple threat match makes sense with Sky, Valkyr, and Naomi. Valkyr can pin Sky. Sadly, as an Io Sky fan, she could eat the pinfall. Naomi could lose the title. People are still going to complain about it, though, because they feel Naomi should have the title a little bit longer. But WWE wants that rocket pack on Stephanie Valkyr. You know it, and I know it. We can read the room. We can clearly see that they want to do that. Are they going to sacrifice Naomi is the big question. We don't know. They could sacrifice Io. Io's going to be fine. Io's going to be perfectly fine. She could take a loss. She could get pinned. But what about Naomi? So WWE has a lot of thinking they got to do here. A lot of precedent thinking regarding the women's division and on Monday Night Raw and the world title scene. It's going to be very, very interesting. Let me know how you guys feeling about that. 2 nights of SummerSlam. You know, I love being honest with you guys. I love giving you guys my honest point of views on any particular topic around the WWE. Because I'm an honest person. I'm an honest person. All right. You guys might not like what I say. That's fine. But at least I'm being honest with my opinions and what I like and what I don't like. This 2 night of SummerSlam was not it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I looked at SummerSlam. Let's look at SummerSlam's card for Saturday. What were the matches that I personally enjoyed? Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. That's 1 match. Gunther versus CM Punk. That's 2 matches. Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. That's 3 matches. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I somewhat enjoyed that, but I'm not gonna put that as if it's a good thing. I either enjoyed it or I didn't, and I didn't enjoy it for the most part. It was fine, but this is either you enjoyed it or you didn't, and I didn't. So there's only 1, 2, 3 matches on night 1 that I enjoyed out of 6. Not bad. Remember, I said 3 matches though on night 1. Night 2. 1, 2 for Sunday. Let me repeat that. 2 matches on night 2 that I enjoyed. Which one were they? Well, it was John Cena and Cody Rhodes, and it was the TLC match. That was the best match of the whole weekend, in my opinion. That's 2 matches right there. While I'm thinking about it, though, Naomi, Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley was pretty good, too. So that's 3. So you got 3 on one night and 3 on the other. That's only 6 matches. That's only 6 matches there. So you're looking at 6 out of 13 matches in total because the TLC match did take place on night 2. So that's 7 matches total that took place on Sunday. 6 out of 13. And that's a thumbs up show? I don't think so. Not in my book. Is that an enjoyable SummerSlam? If you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. That's great. God bless you. Do your thing. But did I enjoy SummerSlam for the most part? No, I did not. I did not. This was one of the weakest SummerSlam cards I have ever seen. So, what am I saying? If you are going to do 2 nights of anything, you need to spread out the card to where there's top tier matches that happen on night 1 and happen on night 2. Because SummerSlam 2025 was not it. That was not it for me. What this boils down to is that SummerSlam does not need to be 2 nights. If you don't like that, that's fine with me. That don't mean no mind to me at all. This is my opinion. SummerSlam should not be 2 nights. What are we doing? It exposed a lot of these matches. It really, really exposed a lot of these matches, man. It really did. Like I said, if you like SummerSlam, cool. That's fine. I didn't. Night 2 was actually worse than night 1, to be honest. There was just not a lot of investment in majority of the matches that took place on the card. It is what it is. I don't think SummerSlam should be 2 nights. TKO plans 2 night events. They're eyeing Survivor Series and Royal Rumble 2026 for Survivor Series and 2027 for the Royal Rumble. So the Royal Rumble being 2 nights. You got the men on one night, the women on the other. Can that work? Yes. Yes, it can. I would rather it be 1 night, though. That is just me. War Games. 1 night for the men, the other for the women. Can that one work? Of course it can. Of course it could work. I would rather Survivor Series be 1 night than Royal Rumble if I had to pick the 2. Money in the Bank's going to eventually be 2 nights as well, too. You got 1 night for the men, the other for the women. You see where I'm going with this? The 2-night format. I wish it was only a WrestleMania thing. SummerSlam being 2 nights makes no sense besides putting everybody on the card. Getting everybody a match. Okay. It is what it is. But SummerSlam proved to me that this should not be 2 nights. Survivor Series being 2 nights, you got the 2 War Games matches. Royal Rumble being 2 nights, you got the 2 Royal Rumble matches. Fine. TKO is having a plan. This plan has been in motion for many years now. This news is not surprising at all to me. I've talked about this, that this was going to happen. Ever since WrestleMania went to 2 nights, I have said, watch out for Money in the Bank, watch out for Royal Rumble, watch out for Survivor Series, watch out for SummerSlam being 2 nights. And guess what? We got 2 nights SummerSlam. Survivor Series and Royal Rumble should be interesting. I just don't think the 2-night format for SummerSlam is it. It just didn't sit right with me. It looked weird, quite quite frankly. It looked weird. But we're going to get 2 nights, and it is what it is. Let's see what happens. So I want to move on. I want to talk about Tiffany Stratton. Who's going to be her opponent? Who is going to be Tiffany Stratton's eventual opponent? We look at, we look at more of, you look at the plans. And there's not a lot of options. If I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's not a lot of options for Tiffany Stratton. There's one person and one person only. She fucked up her finger. She's injured. She has a finger injury. I believe she will be coming back soon. That's Bianca Belair. I think for the greater story, I think Bianca Belair beating Tiffany Stratton and Tiffany Stratton dropping the women's world title to Bianca Belair, I think is the right call. I think it's the right decision. Because if it's not Bianca Belair, who's going to beat Tiffany Stratton? Who? Who's going to beat him? Who would beat Tiffany Stratton? That would make sense. In my opinion, I feel like you ain't got nobody. It's either Bianca Belair or it's nobody. And I think Tiffany Stratton is great. But if you're going to give me either Bianca Belair or Tiffany Stratton, right now I'm going to take Bianca Belair. It's just the way it is. But Tiffany Stratton has had a solid run with the belt. But I think Bianca Belair being her opponent at Clash in Paris needs to be the right call. Or we're going to get another Jade Cargill match. I don't know. But I think a Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, and Bianca Belair, I think are going to start being intertwined with one another. I don't want to see another Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton match. I don't want to see that. So you can get that out the way right now. Even though Nia Jax is doing the best work of her entire career. Salute to Nia Jax. But me as a fan, I don't want to see Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton. I think Bianca Belair is the best bet. And if Bianca Belair challenges Tiffany Stratton the first time for that title, I think she needs to beat Tiffany Stratton. That is just my opinion. So we'll see what happens. But I think Bianca Belair needs to be the right opponent for Tiffany Stratton for Clash in Paris. We'll see what happens on Friday Night SmackDown. It's going to be very, very interesting to see where Tiffany Stratton goes from here. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, The Vision. The Vision is the new faction for Seth Rollins' group. CM Punk, like I said, guys, I think ahead. I think ahead of the game. You either like it or you don't. Is what it is. CM Punk attacked Seth Rollins last night. And I think we are going to get either a tag team match or a triple threat match for the world title. CM Punk, LA Knight, Seth Rollins. Or the tag team match between Roman Reigns, LA Knight, and CM Punk versus The Vision and Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. We'll see. I think one of those two matches are going to be the plan for Clash in Paris. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about further down the line. Seth Rollins, I believe, is going to walk into WrestleMania. It would make sense. It would make sense. You're at the halfway point of WWE season. Seth Rollins, I feel confident that he is going to walk into WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. Here's the question. Who is he going to face at WrestleMania? I have 3 people that I can see Seth Rollins facing at WrestleMania. The first one, Sami Zayn. I could see Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins. Sami Zayn winning the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. and challenging Seth Rollins for the world title. Sami Zayn wants to go after the world title. Sami Zayn, the story arc of him going after the world title makes all the sense in the world. It does. If you really sit back and think about it, it makes sense. But do I see WWE going that route? I don't know. But I need to bring it up because it's a topical discussion that needs to be brought up. Sami Zayn winning the Royal Rumble, challenging Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania, and being the guy to defeat Seth Rollins and ending this whole just run of Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the world title. It's possible. The other guy is CM Punk, and here's what I want to kind of fantasy book, as people say. CM Punk and Seth Rollins, I feel, need to start their long-term feud. And it needs to culminate at WrestleMania. Here's where I'm at. The redemption arc of CM Punk begins now. We get CM Punk, we get that tag team match, or we get the triple threat match, whatever, at Clash in Paris. Cool. That needs to be the ill-equipped blueprint, right? And then we transfer to September. I don't know what the September pay-per-view is, but we transfer to September, and we get Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. That's match 1. Match 2. We get it Hell in a Cell. Or Bad Blood. Match 2. Potentially. But that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make sense. That needs to be the third match. So the second match, I would actually book on a Saturday night's main event or a Monday Night Raw. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Part 2. Part 2. Seth Rollins cheated the first time. Okay? He cheats the second time. Or what happens is CM Punk is about to beat him and some shenanigan happens and CM Punk gets screwed. CM Punk gets screwed over. How about this? Seth Rollins is going to hit the curb stomp. He hits it on CM Punk. CM Punk has his leg or his arm on the rope, but the referee doesn't see it, so Seth Rollins wins. That's match 2. CM Punk's going to have to get his revenge, right? He had his foot on the bottom rope or he had his hand on the bottom rope. That's going to qualify him having a third match with Seth Rollins. And that third match is going to take place at Bad Blood inside Hell in a Cell. That needs to be the Hell in a Cell match. I don't know what other Hell in a Cell match we'd probably get. Me thinking right now, Seth Rollins and CM Punk would probably be it. Or maybe a Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns potentially. I don't know. But Seth Rollins and CM Punk inside Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood needs to be the plan. So that's the third match. Who wins that, though? Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins goes 3-0 against CM Punk. So CM Punk got fucking screwed. Keep that in mind. We get to the Royal Rumble. The redemption continues. CM Punk is not going to stop until he challenges Seth Rollins for the world title and gets his title back. CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. And he challenges Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and finally ends and defeats Seth Rollins for the world title. CM Punk can lose the Royal Rumble, win the Elimination Chamber, and face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. You can still do that as well, too. The story arc of CM Punk's redemption needs to conclude at WrestleMania against Seth Rollins. But people desperately want to see Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And if that happens, it's going to be for the world title. Seth Rollins is going to face CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and or Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. Mark my words. Mark my words. He's facing one of those people at WrestleMania. But the people want to see Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. You can do the Seth Rollins and CM Punk rivalry, and you can officially end it at Bad Blood, which would mean CM Punk would have to win the title in that feud, right? So if CM Punk wins that title, you would think he would hold it until WrestleMania. But wouldn't you want to do Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns for the world title instead of a one-on-one match? You feel me? So that don't make no sense. We'll see what happens, though. But let me know how you guys are feeling about that story arc with CM Punk there. It all concludes with him, Seth Rollins, match 4 at WrestleMania, one-on-one, and CM Punk ultimately beats Seth Rollins. What's next for Cody Rhodes? What is next for Cody Rhodes if he is officially done with John Cena? I think he is done with John Cena, and I do think that his rivalry, his new rivalry, and what I think can potentially happen here is we might get Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes in the near future. I can see that happening. I can absolutely see Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, because you got to think about it. There's no other opponent for Cody Rhodes. He's not facing Cena again. Drew McIntyre is the best bet. So let me know what you guys are feeling about that idea with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Maybe Drew McIntyre is the one to beat Cody Rhodes. Who knows? I want to end it with Ariel Helwani. Ariel Helwani on WWE getting rid of press conferences, and he gives his perspective on it. I'm going to play that audio clip for you guys. But I appreciate everybody joining me on the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. Thank you guys so much. I love each and every one of y'all. Spread the word of the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. Word of mouth goes a long way. And follow me on social media, on Twitter at JT Takeover, on Instagram at the Wrestling Takeover. And just continue to spread the word, man. Spread the gospel of the Wrestling Takeover Podcast. The most creative and honest podcast in the motherfucking space, man. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know the vibes, bruh. Y'all know it's true. Come on now. All right. But let's talk about Ariel Helwani. He talks about the releases. Let's play this audio clip.
I see a lot of people almost offended by them getting rid of the press conferences. I don't think they added anything. The questions were never that great. The interactions were a little bit clunky and awkward. And then you'd sometimes have people ask questions, and you'd have characters in character, not trying to break kayfabe, and it just made for an awkward dance.
Is Ariel Helwani wrong? No, he's not wrong. It was awkward. You have people, journalists, asking some of the dumbest motherfucking questions that you can ask a pro wrestler, and you don't know if they're in character or not. The feel has definitely been off with these press conferences as of late. So I'm actually happy that they're not bringing them back, honestly. It really didn't do much. Let's be real. It added that sports-like presentation, NBA, NFL, MLB type press conferences, sports press conferences, but it really didn't do much.
The most interesting stuff came from the interactions with Triple H, because he's sort of serving as the Dana White of WWE. He's the figurehead. He's the guy. That's the way they're positioning him, as they should. It makes the most sense to do that. He plays that role perfectly, but I'm not surprised. It always felt to me like they were going to get rid of it at some point. And so did they get rid of it on this particular weekend because he was coming back? Who knows? Maybe we'll find out when.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They got rid of it because they didn't want the backlash. Come on. Let's be real. All right. Let me know how you guys feeling about every single topic I talked about today on the Wrestling Takeover podcast. Thank you guys so much for always continuing to support. Thank y'all, man. We're going to continue to do our thing. We're going to continue to bust out these videos. Like I said, spread the word. Word of mouth goes a long way. And y'all know what it is, man. Listen, these content never stops. Hard work is going to eventually pay off one day. But until then, we got to continue to put in the work, man. Continue to bring the honesty within the wrestling community. Continue to bring in the creativity within the wrestling community, man. It's the most creative and honest podcast in the space. This is the Wrestling Takeover podcast. I'll see y'all next time.